got PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Chime. Hope you got yours, cause I got mine. I'm talking Payoneer, Netspend, Venmo, Stash. Too many ways for you to run my cash.
Check reparations, 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 check.
Yeah, well, if you're talking compensation, it's about.
That's right. Playing intros all the way through. You know what it do. It's J Lava KP podcast where we take news situations, everyday occurrences. We show how one could have or could not have been, keeping it P. And we're talking about reparations today in New York City on the commission remedies. But there's a few things even before I get started that I found that's super weird. When I was doing, I always do my research, and I went to the page, and this, gotta say, is disturbing. Got to say it, and I got to say it because I look on here. There's a couple Caribbean Bibians, and then you got Miss Millie in the middle right here. Then you scroll down a little bit, and then what you see, Miss Millie, you see your boy right here. You already know he's trouble on the double. I think we checked his files too, and he might not be right. But anyway, the brothers and sisters there, they came straight down the middle. I wanted to let y'all hear what's being said at the meeting and what we're talking about. Fair usages of everything fair, but everything on the first brother is good until he got to talk about that ADOS crap. But we're gonna let him run it.
Check. Sheesh. What's good? So my name is Cash Gaines. I'm Black American on both sides of my family, just for context of the conversation. I'm a millennial, and I support cash payment reparations specifically. I want to shout out the OGs and all the younger people than me here, not a lot of us, and to those who are watching online on social media. Again, I want to stress the demand for direct cash payments for the economic depravity and unpaid slave labor. Generational economic harm, not just prejudice, to be clear. There was actually a German American in this audience tonight who, along with 5 other authors, wrote a paper called Wealth Implications for Slavery, where he was able to quantify with a 24-hour day's wage, had we have just received the minimum wage or the unskilled labor wage during slavery times, that our ancestors with a 3% interest rate would be owed trillions of dollars, but at a 6% interest rate would be owed $6.6 quadrillion, which is 15 zeros, 151 million per Black American. I'm not demanding that New York State advocates for that, but I will mention that Oregon had suggested Senate Bill 619. Now it's called 776, but when it was 619, that bill suggested anyone with just one ancestor who was enslaved in America, who's 18 years of age or older, that they will be owed $123,000 a year in lifetime payments tax-free. I argue that if Oregon is willing to suggest that, and New York State's cost of living is higher, that our payout should be higher. Simple and sweet. The only other thing I wanted to mention is our 40 acres. The sister mentioned our land earlier. I just wanted to say that I know it's going to be up to y'all to discover how much land is still owned by the federal government for us to be allocated these lands, but I want to clarify that our own people, specifically younger people than me, have made it very clear that it doesn't need to be land that they live on. They don't care if white folks is on it or need to get off of it, but we can start with places like Seneca Village, where it's just Central Park. There's no one currently living there that would be displaced, and housing that would be built there would appreciate in value exponentially, since it's one of the most expensive rows of houses in all of America. And I want to shout out Senator James Sanders, because as a young person, reparations wasn't something I was looking too much into until I started hearing about cash payments. And Senator James Sanders mentioned our 40 acres, and he mentioned an EV as an update to the mule. I definitely think we need to be speaking about what an update to the mule could look like to get the youth back interested in this conversation. Lastly, I want to shout out the ADOS Foundation website, where you can find an entire Black agenda along with what we're owed as far as our cash payments. Thank you for the time.
Now, everything was cool up until that. I don't, sometimes you can eat the meat and spit out the bones. So I'm not really going to harp on that too much. but he came right down the middle. I am really proud of the millennials, and he got his hoodie on and all that, representing clean fade, nice FBA hairline. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love every bit of it. Now, there's another brother that comes up, and he got a little piece to say.
Derek Walker, Nehemiah Roll,
Yes.
Ibrahim XAYU, and Annette Wilcox.
How y'all doing?
Hi.
So I'm probably young enough to be any one of you guys up there, sons, so I'm speaking to my elders. First of all, I want to thank you guys for everything that you've done so far, and I do ask you to take this situation serious. This is about our grandchildren, my grandchildren. I have no children as of yet, but I do plan on having some in the future. Reparations is about a debt owed. It's about cash. We're talking lineage. We're not talking anything else. We're not talking people of color, disenfranchised communities. We're talking about our lineage, people that come from this soil. I was one of those people in 2024 that voted couch. I did not vote for Kamala Harris. I did not vote for Donald Trump. If you want our vote, the young, the grassroots, you're gonna have to pledge tangible specifically to us. We just saw what happened to Jordan Neely. Jordan Neely was just strangled. We need reparations starts with cash, but it does not end there.
That's right.
We actually need an anti-black crime bill to add on to our reparations.
That's right.
No one should be able to harm me and then go home at the end of the night. The man wasn't even arrested. So again, we're talking cash. 20 trillion, I think my brother Cash just said it. We're talking cash payments, specifically to the descendants of American slaves, not the Americas as in South and Central. We're talking about North America.
That's right.
This government. So again, I thank you so much for your time. Oh, by the way, we do not support HR 40. We do not support a study. We've been studying for 400 years.
That's
We're
right.
done studying. Thank you so much for your courage for doing this. And again, this is someone speaking to his elders. Thank you again. Much love.
That's right. That's right. I like that. I like that.
Nehemiah Roll,
And we watching this together, y'all. This is my first time seeing it too.
My name is Nehemiah Rose Jr. I was born in Queens in St. Albans, and my family came here in the 40s. Just to give a contextual background to the history, it's so important. I understand, and people need to understand, this is a state commission where the federal government has dropped the ball. Our politicians, our leaders, our people that are out there have not. I know some of them that are involved in the reparation movement. So this is a state effort, a state commission, what New York State is going to do. And I can understand why people in California that were speaking today, they don't want what happened in California to happen in New York. I understand this is guided by legislation. I'm in the legal profession, okay, so I understand. What I want the commission to take focus on, okay, is what everybody's been saying is the numbers, okay, because we're talking about numbers. We're looking at New York State GDP on the state level. You're talking something like 2.3 trillion dollars. If they was to pay every traditional black American, and we're talking about lineage, okay, in the state of New York, okay, that can prove that they have roots into slavery with the lineage, you're talking about $3 trillion. If you're just using the $600,000 number for 3 million, okay? New York State used to have at least the highest amount of blacks living in the state. Now they don't drop to 4th place. But I have an alternative process that we could do that needs to be considered by the legislature, is that instead of giving money, we should consider the cash option, but we also consider a voucher option. That's a part of my class action lawsuit that we're bringing with my company, blackhorizons.com. And that would be free education through Harvard, okay? Free health care, Cadillac plan for the rest of your life. Free transportation throughout the United States. Free housing. So instead of the money, give a voucher. A voucher would cover getting a house. A voucher would cover traveling throughout the United States for the rest of your life. A voucher would cover free health care, Cadillac plan. Voucher will cover free education on the state level.
Man, you can
those
have
particular
all that
things
with the
will-
money,
instead of the
sir.
money- Instead of the money,
See, every time we get to every time we get to talk about money, we got some buster coming up acting like he know what he talking about. And fam, with the money, you got all of those things, fam. With the money, you can travel like you want. With the money, you can get the best health care. With the money, you can buy your own property, fam. With the money. So it don't even really make sense. Why would I take a voucher over the money? Stop giving these people an out, fam. See, we don't need brothers like you. See, that's that BS. You know, I just thought about something though. Some people might want to take the voucher though. Some people might not think that they're capable of handling the money like that. And that's okay. That's when we begin to teach and educate our own. We'll all be in a better position to advise and teach and scoop up and grab and work with and get our we would build our own drug rehab facilities. We would we would automatically kick into that sort of kind of action. Like, let's get our people together. We haven't been able to depend on anybody else to do it. So it would be inevitable for us to step up and make our own group homes, our own medical facilities, our own treatment facilities. All of that would be naturally happen if we had the money. And the people with the money now that's capable of putting those type of things together are scared of actually doing it because their money will be taken away by the powers that be that says if you help somebody like you or help your people succeed, we cutting you off. And it's a sad reality. So in all essence, we don't got the money. If that's what the case is, then we don't got the money. So when the average person gets the money that's not scared of losing their job for fighting or sticking up for themselves or this, that, and the third, then it won't happen. It's a conundrum that we're in. It's not like we don't want to do these things. It's that when we've done them, we've had plenty of towns with hospitals and general stores and the whole nine, and they under somebody's lake right now. That's the deal. Ask any Asian or Mexican people how many communities they have under a lake. Let's start there. So I don't want to hear that black and brown and we the same and we struck. I don't want to hear that. How many communities y'all got under a lake, fam? This buster. Anyway, there's a little more. I'm going to give y'all a little more. If not, y'all got to go check the video out for yourself. But I definitely want y'all to let y'all know it's still popping out here in these streets without busters like this.
we can have the voucher.
And I'm not just pooping on this idea. Like, again, I do, as a two-sided thinker, I do see some people being like, oh, I might not be able to handle the money, and I need you to do this for me, white daddy. But again, nah, we gonna work it out on our own. Like, nah, we'll work it out anyway.
And that needs to be put into the legislation, but it does need to cover descendants of Black American ancestry that were involved in slave trade and slavery. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At least he got the lineage right.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna hold it because I can't get it down. Okay, so my name is Annette Wilcox. I'm the great-great-granddaughter of Archibald Mobley, who was born in 1826 in Georgia, whose name is on the 1870 census, which is the first census that included Black Americans. And the question I want to ask is, how can you repair a people if you fail to identify who those people are? And something this commission can do right now is to vote to formally recognize American freedmen, descendants of those people enslaved in the United States, as a sole community of eligibility for any reparations program in New York State.
Yep.
2, I urge the Commission to support and recommend the establishment of the Freedmen Bureau in New York, which would be tasked with managing all aspects of reparations implementation. And finally, I call on the Reparations Commission to endorse Bill A 10245, sponsored by Nikki Lucas, which mandates a disaggregation of data for Black African American community in New York State. This would mirror a bill that all the legislators in New York State supported that was signed by Governor Hochul in December 2021, which requires the collection of socioeconomic data of the AAPI community. You have to identify who people are to repair them. Today, American freedmen remain at the bottom of every socioeconomic metric, 1/10 of the wealth of whites, 43 to 48% of incarcerated population, 56% of New York City's homeless population. Unemployment is 2 times that of whites, a statistic unchanged since 1954 when data was first collected. Race-based policies have been illegal in the U.S. since the 1970s, yet commissions, nonprofits, NGOs, and think tanks still use race as a guiding framework. However, when it comes to implementing solutions, they dilute resources and benefits to include all. In New York City, there are multiple initiatives and laws that reference slavery, Jim Crow, and discrimination ad infinitum. Yet none of these deal with the specificity of American freedmen. The Racial Justice Commission, New York City Commission, helped amend the city charter to address quote-unquote racial equality,
30 seconds.
Equity, and inclusiveness. It used the history of American freedmen, but the benefits go to everyone else. Why was this called a racial equity bill? Likewise, the New York State Reparations Commission has used the 190-year history of legal anti-freedmen laws as justification for the Commission's work. Yet it seeks to minimize and exclude freedmen as qualifying for reparations because our ancestors weren't enslaved in New York. No, our ancestors were only the victims of the massive industrial slavery in the South in the 1800s that built the economy of New York State and New York City.
Thank you.
To leave us out of that
is so much.
A crime. Thank you.
Please submit.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the thing is, man, it can all be so simple. They're going to pussyfoot and play in our face until we demand to enough of us get on code, just like we did for this election. We definitely need to get on code about this money and separate who's getting it and why they're who's getting it and how much they getting. That's it. That's it. How much we getting. And when is it coming? How you going to do it yearly? You going to do it monthly? How you going to do it? Give me my bread, Fred. All at once, over time. Let's get it started. One little big lump sum with little break-offs, or big lump sum with little break-offs. Because Oregon said we should. Don't forget, they said Oregon, that bill they passed, they mean we should be getting like 100-something thousand a year for life. That sound about right. But we got to get that lumpy though. We got to get that lumpy. No, and the checks. If the people ain't 18, the checks got to go to the kids, and they be putting escrow until they get 18 or whatever, and they get their bread. Yeah, something got to give, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm emoji, fold you, and scold you about being on code. You know I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead, subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike, comment your vomit, share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we own, Jones. And just to bring it on home, I've got love, peace, blessings, and Maloha, because I'm out the Doha. For Shoha, you already know. Yeah, good D.
I got PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Chime. Hope you got yours, cause I got mine. I'm talking Payoneer, Netspend, Venmo, Stash. Too many ways for you to run my cash.
Check reparations. check reparations, check reparations, check